And we are recording. So today I'm having a chat and running with Burt Kennedy. How are you, mate?
Not too bad. Yourself, Mark?
Yeah, very good. So I suppose I didn't actually tell you until this morning that I suppose I first came across you and what you were doing when Kiralee Deer, who I'm speaking with tomorrow, put something on her Facebook page, and it was one of my mates is going to attack the Great North Walk, 550k in just over 6 days. And I was like, awesome, I need to follow this guy. And then I suppose I pinged you a few messages during and after, and then we've sort of kept in contact since. But also, you were looking to do a run in June, or you were looking to do the run again in June.
Yep.
Which again, we can talk to. But what I'd love to do is start with, let's talk about the run you did last June.
Yep.
And why you decided to do it.
Yeah. Okay. I think, as you would have read, leading up to the run itself, I was going through a fair bit of depression, but prior to was also going through some depression. And I found when you create a focus, helping someone who needs the help, it makes you reflect that you're actually doing okay, and gives you great appreciation for where you're at and so forth. Can sort of help really combat the depression you're going through, especially when you see, like last time I did it for Jody Bell, who's not much older than me, who's dying of motor neuron disease, and to see how she still battles on every day. Like she's very limited movement now. She's wheelchair bound. She's got carers. She's got a good support network, which is really awesome for her.
Yeah.
But to see her still every day, I can only imagine the mental battles. She's got two daughters. So the mental battles that she would face every day, being in that position, it kind of, when you engage with someone like that, it can help give deeper reflection on what you're going through yourself, and give a bit of a perspective that it might not, sometimes it's might not seem as bad as what it is. Not discrediting that whatsoever, because one person's struggle is only relative to the worst thing they've ever gone through. So it helps me give a deeper perspective on, you know what, I'm going through a hard time, but it could be worse.
Yeah. Okay. It gave you a bit of a purpose. It gave you,
most definitely,
put things into perspective. And
yes.
As one of the articles I read said that, and I can't remember the exact time, but there was a point during the race itself where, or during the lead up as well, things were getting on top of you, but you weren't really talking about it.
Yes.
Or at what point did you decide to actually talk about it, and what was the I suppose the tipping point?
Leading up to it, or sort of, I'll start from further back. So leading up to it, after, well, first of all, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I had no idea. Like, I'd run 150, which was 2018. I'd done the UTA 50, which I'd literally run 3 times prior to turning up to do that. And funny enough, after that, I said I'd never run again, but didn't get that way. Anyway, so when I started training, it was pretty full on. And 6 weeks into training, I rolled an ankle, tore 3 ligaments, which actually put me out for 6 weeks. When that happened, I had a lot of people discredit whether I would still do it, whether I'd be able to do it. And whether I would actually still do it. I think that one got to me more, only because knowing my own character, it's if I put something, like I won't do something else, I put everything into it, which is a big part of why I'm rerunning the 500. Just not feeling like that everything went into it. So after that happened, like it was literally every week there was a new injury. Like when you're pushing to the limits of breaking yourself, like something's got to give. And because I had such a short time frame, so I had 6 weeks, I was off for 6 weeks, then I had 12 weeks before I run. So when I got back into running, I was trying to do everything I could to prevent injuries, like masseuse every week, physio every fortnight, so forth. But I decided I wouldn't say anything about any injuries, which some of them actually got quite serious. But towards the end of the run, I was throwing my heart out of rhythm, and that was becoming a weekly thing. And my doctor, who I'm good mates with, he said to me, like, you're playing with fire. He says, I can give you tablets that will stop this happening, but it will literally max your heart to a point where you won't be able to do the run in the same manner that you're trying to achieve it. Luckily, with his help and sort of monitoring everything, like that got that serious. At the Wednesday prior to me, Wednesday? Sorry, I'm trying to think what day I took off. I think it was Wednesday. Anyway, 2 days prior to the run, I had a 24-hour ECG on, where effectively he was trying to make me do my own stress test. So he wired me all up. He said, I need you to go run as hard as you can for half an hour and then bring this back to me. Because it got that bad, he was like seriously concerned that it could have been extremely dangerous throughout the run. Luckily enough, that come back all right. All right enough for him to go, no, you should be okay. So if people knew what was happening, I feel it could have really discredited my ability to do it. And like I wasn't doing, you always have a deeper meaning while you're doing it. Like there's an element why you do it for yourself, but it's not something I would do just to go, hey, I got the record. I don't enjoy running. Like I enjoy running. I don't enjoy it to that point where it's literally, some of the last training runs, I was running 70K one day, the next day running 50 and then hop up and run 21. And this is all with the sand. Like it was pretty savage stuff. So so if people, I felt if people knew, I wanted people to know, but I decided not to say anything until it was done. And what I was hoping that would reinforce was, regardless of what you're going through, if you want to persevere through it, generally you can find a way to overcome the adversity.
Okay, so it was just a case of, I suppose, wanting to keep people positive with you rather than did you actually come out and say, well, actually I've been struggling with injury and I've been struggling with depression immediately afterwards, or did you have a bit of a break first, have a little rest, bit of food?
I can't remember how long it was. I know it wasn't directly after. I'd have to go back through and see when I'd actually posted about it. But like straight after, like as you know, with any like a running event, you have the build up, you do the event, and then after you normally have those post-race blues, as they call it.
I'm looking forward to them. Oh no, I was just going to say, so you've come out the other side. As I said, you did it in 6.5 days, which is just absolutely amazing because it's not 550 k's flat. It's you know, bloody great elevation. And so what's the goal then coming into trying to do it again? Because you did it in 6.5, so I assume you're going to be looking at doing it less. You're doing it for a mental health charity.
Yes.
So what's the, I suppose, rather than talking too much about the running, what's the goal on the mental health side? What are the key lessons that you've learned coming out of last year's run?
Yep. Okay. So because of how everything played out with last year's run, that's why I'm going back to do it. And some of the reasons why, like a big part of why I didn't talk, is incorporated into this next run. So I'll break it down in a bit. So the run itself, I'm going to try to do in 100 hours. So that is just over 4 days. So if I can do that, that's, I'm going to say probably a little bit off the charts. And
yeah.
If I can manage to pull that off, the reason why I've decided to do that is if you do something once, like, well, the first time, the 500, like I'd run a 50. I struggled with that 50 and I didn't run again. But unless you do something out of the ordinary, it can be hard to get people to pay attention. I understand that there's a lot of stuff where people need a lot of help all the time. So it's hard to try to stand out amongst that for your purpose. Like, you really want to get your purpose across of why you're doing it. So this time, because I've done it once, I had to up the challenge. So when I got to the other end on the first one, it turned out I had the 5th fastest time on the one way. That's once I'd finished the it all started coming together in my head, and then I actually spoke with Brad and Kiralee. So Kiralee has been a pretty good mentor. If it wasn't for herself, I wouldn't have pushed with the running.
Yeah. She's
the one who is seeing something there that I didn't see. And I didn't follow up with it for years. Like, it was a grain of salt. And it turns out she was right. And but I do believe everything plays out as it should.
Definitely.
So with this next one, so besides from what I'm trying to achieve time-wise, I wanted to, like David Byrne, who you spoke of, with Mark Green. I did actually see Mark Green a while back. He's a cool physio by the recommendation of Kiralee.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool little circle of runs there. Dave Byrne's going to work in with this one, and we're going to do a documentary on mental health. Just trying to outline some of the, I suppose, reasons why, well, for myself, like reasons why people don't talk. Like, there's a lot of slogans and so forth encouraging people to talk, but sometimes there's a reason why people will never talk. And that run is an example of it. So while I was going through what I was going through, and I decided, no, I have to be seen as an element of strength. Otherwise, people won't believe I can do this. I feel that's throughout society in different circumstances. Like, I know different people who, I know they're struggling through stuff, and I know they won't talk about it, but there's times where they go, hey mate, do you want to go do something? And I go, yeah, sure. And I go on crazy adventures because I know for them that's a time out. So I want to try to get across in the video, like, why people don't talk sometimes. Like, and sometimes if you try to force them to talk, that can be worse. And I did see a meme a while back on the Black Dog Institute, which I really liked. We had two little people. One of them was like, do you want to talk? And the other one's like, no, not really. And he just sat down beside him. And I thought that was a really powerful meme.
I remember you sharing that.
Yeah, it's just like, just being there. I want to get that across. I want to get across the importance of continuing to move forward, regardless of how hard it gets. It doesn't matter if it only feels like you're crawling. But if you continue to move forward, then you have a chance of getting better. I wouldn't say better, it's probably not the right word, but a chance of sort of reconnecting with that happiness.
Yeah.
If you stay where you are, it's really easy to do, because I've been through it a lot of times over the years for a lot of different reasons. It's really easy. It's an easy place to stay.
Yeah.
So I want to get across the importance of continuing to move forward throughout, and also what can be achieved even within that mind state. The last run was a good example of that. Like, my mind was absolutely gone, and it was, even during the run, there's one person who picked up on it, a good mate of mine.
Yeah.
And yeah, she picked up from something I said. She's like, something's wrong. Like, straight away. And it was to do with me. The comment that I'd made was, well, if it takes me 7 days, it takes me 7 days. And she knew straight away, that's not me. It's all or nothing. So from that one comment, she said, he's not right. Like, something's wrong. And she tried to express that, but people are like, no, he's still going. Like, he's doing well. He's injured and he's still going, and so forth. But yeah, in reality, I wasn't.
Yeah.
So it would be good to just, what you can still, even in that mind state, just so people don't feel like they're restricted by that state as such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the message is, I think the messages that you're trying to get out are loud and clear. It's you sort of personify that warrior type archetype of moving forward, but I think just by going first and starting that conversation, it's, similar to myself, you're hoping to encourage other people to talk.
Yes.
And if they don't want to, then sometimes that, similar to the meme you said, just by connecting with people and being with them is enough to support them. So I think you're doing an amazing job.
Oh, thank you. No, likewise yourself.
So as I said, I could talk to you about this all day. There's a couple of things I just wanted to ask you just before we go into the bit of fun questions at the end. The first one is about your own sort of self-care routine. Running's obviously a huge part.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that fits into there for you to help you sort of relax and I suppose to be mentally fit?
I'd say that's one thing that I'm not real good at in terms of, and the reason why I say that is the amount of effort that needs to go in to do what I'm trying to overcome, like trying to achieve, doesn't leave much time. Occasionally, like on the weekend just gone, I got to a point where in between all this, I work for myself and I'm trying to build my own place and train. So I have a lot going on at once. So like Sunday, I decided it was, just needed to get out. So ended up going for a run down a waterfall. And it's sort of those little things, I think sometimes, the reasons why I originally got into running, like just the enjoyment of being in nature and so forth. So those little things, I think, or sometimes I'll just go for a bit of a wander up a mountain, just sit up, enjoy the view. And there's a lot more I should do in terms of eating better, sleeping better, so forth. And given that I am postponing this run, it's something that gives me more time to actually focus on, so I don't end up in the same position as I did leading up to the last run, which leading up to this one, if this was still in June, I was pretty well pushing to a similar state as what I was prior to the last run, just with so much going on. The training ramped up more so than last time. It just has a massive toll. I kind of think once it's done, I'll rest then.
I'm sure you won't. I'm sure something else will come up. Exactly. So I've got 5 fun questions, as I said, that I'm asking everybody. First one, what is your favorite race?
I'm going to say the Great Southern Endurance Race.
Sorry?
Great Southern Endurance Race.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to check it out.
One's down in Victoria High Country. That's
cool.
hardest 100-mile event in Australia.
Nice. And do you listen to anything when you run?
Yeah, mostly classical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I quite like classical music. It's kind of sometimes it's just white noise,
Yeah.
but it just can sometimes be a subtle distraction if you're running for hours and hours and hours. Yeah, just that subtle distraction.
I know that one.
Yeah.
And how many pairs of running shoes do you own?
I'll say I have 3 that are running, but I probably have about 10, only because I trialed on air a lot of shoes leading up to the 500. Just
Yeah,
kind of find what was going to work. So yeah.
And who's been the biggest influence on your life so far?
I've thought about this one for a bit. I wouldn't say any person in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I tend to, I'll say, get influenced, inspired by is seeing people achieve anything that's beyond what they thought they could do. Like, I really love that. Whether someone's just done their first 5K or even their first kilometre, or if they've gone for a run for a distance where they hadn't been able to run non-stop before, right up to seeing people do their first 100K or do their first mile. It's the little things that I find inspire me the most. I'm not so much by the big fish. It's if someone's good at running, if someone's good enough that they're winning all the miles, and it's not as much of a challenge. Not discrediting the work they've done, but obviously it's not as much of a challenge if you're always coming first.
I get that. And favourite quote?
Favourite quote. I don't mean to sound arrogant with this one, but the favourite quote's actually my own quote, which is, one's strength isn't determined by their ability not to break, but their ability to keep going once broken. So,
I like that. I think I saw that in one of your articles as well.
Yeah, I normally have it like written at the bottom of most stuff on the page. That sort of come about, interesting story with that one. I'll try to be quick. Interesting story with that one. When I was going through a hard time years ago, I actually it was a friend of mine, and she actually said to me like that I was weak, and like that really got to me at the time. And years later, it's like it's years on that I come up with the quote. Years on, it's looking back, it's like I might have been perceived as weak, but I kept going. Yeah. Since that point, it's like the stuff that I've overcome and also been able to achieve. But that's like, I live by that quote. But yeah, it's not so much what you are when everything's good. It's like, what are you going to do when everything goes to shit? Yeah.
I love it. And so where can people go to follow you and find out more about you?
At the moment, I'm just using social media platforms. So either Facebook or Instagram. Facebook, it's under the Immortality project. But you can also find it by typing in @GNW500.
Cool.
Yeah, which, because it's known as the GNW 250. Actually, Joey come up with that, Joey Ward. Instagram's just the Immortality Project 2020, but obviously just going to change to 2021.
Well, I would definitely recommend people jumping in and checking it out, mate. As I said, I've really enjoyed following you, and I can't wait to follow you when your challenge picks up again. We'll have to sort out a trail run soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Likewise, I'm loving watching your day to day, and actually you're watching back to back, and you're still very fast. So I'm not fast. I'm watching them. Jeez, he's
I'm
hooking.
trying to get, I'm trying to get back to eat some food and have some coffee.
Yeah, fair call.
But yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, let's definitely chat again soon and sort out this run.
No, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And yeah.
Thanks again. Awesome. Thank you so much, mate. Take care.
Thanks, Mark. See you, mate.